Hey, welcome back into our college predictions segment every Thursday with, of course, Andy Bryson from LouisianaGridironFootball.com. You've been on a hot streak, sir. 29-6 here in the first couple weeks.
It makes it easy when the schools do what I want them to.
Let's hopefully LSU, the Tigers, do what the Tiger fans want them to, blow out the Syracuse Orange. Do you see them stretching those legs, making it more than maybe a 3 or 4 touchdown game?
I'm going to probably get some hate mail about this one here, but I think that loss last week was a good thing for the Tigers. They're a young football team. They're got that inexperience behind them. So now I feel sorry for Syracuse this week because I think they've just woken a sleeping giant.
Then I think you're going to make friends with Tiger fans this week, then, because that's what they're expecting.
Everybody's upset about the loss. Well, I'm not. I'm actually not too concerned about this loss because it's a good time of the year to make it. If you're going to have a loss in a season, it's a good time to have it in a year. Ogeron said it really good on Tuesday when we was with him, and he said that they played their very best. LSU played their very worst.
Yeah.
You know, going forward in the season, I don't think this happens again. You know, they've had those guys running the bleachers. They've had those guys pushing pencils across the football field with their nose. You know, I'm pretty sure this ain't going to happen again.
Coach O, known as a fiery coach. All right, let's move on to Southern. They're on the road, not too far, about 100 miles away to Lorman, Mississippi, Alcorn State. Kind of a tough place to play. I thought the defense really showed up in the fourth quarter. They didn't lose heart. They got some things to build upon there in the film room. What did you see, and what do you think against the Braves this week?
I think Southern gets their second win of the year this week. I mean, Alcorn State's a good football program, but Southern, I think, is a much better program. Danny Johnson is great. Has been a great.
I've been telling you. I have been telling you.
He is. He's a great defensive player. In fact, I caught Chris Jones and Coach Banks out in the parking lot when we showed up today. And they both raving about the young man. He's just a phenomenal athlete on that defense.
Austin Howard probably not back. We don't know. And then obviously you got Lenore's Footman on the other side. What are you kind of seeing as far as how the Jaguars can get it done on offense?
It's going to be a close game, but I think Southern's going to get this done pretty easily.
How about Southeastern? The Lions going up for that Lamar Hall of Fame game. They're licking their wounds a little bit this week.
They are. I had picked them last week beating Arkansas because they just had their number the last couple of years. But Ron, I mean, he puts together a good team every year. I don't think they lose this game. This is their bounce back. This is going to be their first win of the season. This is the first time that Southeast has gone 0-3 on the season since 2012. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to last much longer, the losing streak.
Fair enough. How about Nicholls State? Really a game that I'm watching. I know you're watching for this one too, because very proud program there at Sam Houston State. This is a big-time battle, one that could. Nicholls State snuck up in the rankings now, so this could really affect their postseason projections as well.
This could be. This right here is the game, I think, for the Southland Conference for the championship game.
Wow. Okay.
Chase Forcade is having a phenomenal season. He has over 741 yards passing already in only 3 games, averaging 241 yards per game. Sam Houston is, like you said, a great program. They've been conference champions. I think they were last year, the year before last. You know, two straight years of conference championships. They're a strong program, but I think Nicholls State comes up and bites them this week.
How about McNeese State? And if you can talk about one game, maybe you get some confidence. It's usually against Houston Baptist, right? I mean, this should be a 3-touchdown type spread for the Cowboys, right?
It should. It should be a 21-point spread for the Cowboys this week. Houston Baptist, they are a new program. They're still building. They're still licking their wounds from just trying to build a program up. Yeah. McNeese is, James Tabery is a great quarterback there. Again, he had 344 yards last week against a quality opponent. So, this is an easy matchup for McNeese. If there's ever such a thing as an easy matchup.
In a program I've had my eye on ever since you've come in studio here, Louisiana Tech. Now, they got out-muscled there against Mississippi State. They couldn't do as many things on offense. But you play a South Carolina team who is a little injured, a little broken up. They no longer have their playmaker on offense there at wide receiver. So is this maybe an upset alert this week?
It is, and I have to disagree with you. I don't think they got out-muscled. They outplayed themselves. 3 turnovers. 2 of them for touchdowns.
And then the third and 93.
Exactly. So I mean, they beat themselves in that game against Mississippi State. I mean, that's a game where Mississippi State again, like I said, Mississippi State did not play their very best against, played their very best against LSU. And didn't put up gaudy numbers. Again, they played their very best against Louisiana Tech, and La Tech is a good program. As long as they don't outplay themselves, they can beat South Carolina.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of potential there for the Bulldogs for the rest of their season. Let's move on to Grambling State. Devontae Kincaid taking on Valley and taking on a very experienced head coach in Mr. Comagee over there. It looks like a mismatch on paper. What do you see?
The same thing. Like I said, week after week after week, I don't think Grambling loses this year. Grambling is just too talented. One of their offensive linemen, I coached this last year in a All-American Bowl game. He's 6'4", 330 pounds, offensive lineman. We called him U-Haul in the bowl game because he just picked kids up and move them.
Let's move on to a big rivalry game. We're talking about the Raging Cajuns and the Warhawks. You got UL versus UL Monroe. Who has the advantage here? Because I know you're very high on UL Monroe, and you said the Raging Cajuns very young. But hey, they gave the Aggies all they wanted in that first half.
This week's a great grudge match, a Louisiana grudge match. They traditionally hate each other, and now you attach that M and L at the end of their names, and they fight about that every week. This is a great match. This is going to be a great matchup. I think UL comes out as a victor because it's at home. If it was in Monroe, I think Monroe would win this game. But since it's at home, I think UL wins this ball game.
How about Tulane versus Army? And if you love the triple option,
this is going to be a fun game.
I promise. What makes this so fun? Obviously, they run the same offenses.
If you like running games, you like just pounding that pigskin every game, every play. This is the game you want to watch this week. I think Tulane wins this ball game at home.
Louisiana College, and this is a little bit of I told you so. This was one of my predictions. Louisiana College, I said they were going to have a tough time going up against an offensive juggernaut there in Hardin Simmons up there in Abilene. They ran into them 55-10, but they get Southwestern University. Should be a much better ball game this week.
This is going to be played at home in Pineville. So, again, I was wrong last week. I'm not wrong very often.
The few times that you're wrong, I'm going to make you come on here and tell me I was right. So
you were right last week.
This is like the one time a year. How can they rebound? What do you see that they can build upon?
Well, they can build upon that 10 points they scored last week. I mean, Hardin Simmons is the number 8 team in the D3 football. So that's a very good program, like you said. You build up on that for this next week. Cedric Davis, again, and another SEC type wide receiver. He's 6'3", 220-pound wide receiver, runs a 4.4 40. So this is matchups that LC wants. These are guys that the other schools wish they could have gotten.
Now, I will give you credit. You called Northwestern State getting their first win last week. They're on a bye, but obviously he knows his stuff. 29-6 on the season. Andy Bryson from LouisianaGridironFootball.com. I'm Brian Holland for your college predictions.